I'm going to show you on the pelvic model a little bit more about the female pelvic anatomy. So this is a bony pelvis, and these points here are the bony points on the front of your hips. This here is the pubic bone in the front, and if we turn it around, you can see the bottom of the spine, the coccyx. And looking underneath, you can see these muscles stretch from the pubic bone all the way under and attach into the base of the spine in the coccyx. But as well, these muscles spread out to the side and attach into your sitting bones, so that when you sit down and put your hand in under your buttock, you can feel that bone, which is your sitting bone. So let's take a closer look now at the outer muscle layer of your pelvic floor. So you can imagine that you are looking from the outside up between your legs. Starting from the top, in under the pubic bone, if you come down, first of all, you'll find the clitoris, which is a little bump. But that's actually only the end of the clitoris, because it does extend about 6 to 8 centimeters up into the body in women. So this is only the outer part of it. Go down a little lower, and the next landmark is the urethra. That's where the urine leaves the body. Below that, the next exit is the vagina. Now the vagina leads up to the uterus. And then behind that again is the anal sphincter, where solid wastes leave the body. The area in between the back of the vagina and the anal sphincter, this area here, is called your perineum. You can see the outer muscles of the pelvic floor, how they stretch out to the sitting bones, while others come up and insert towards the clitoris and the pubic bone. Now the role of these muscles in your body is to help close the vaginal lips, and also they direct blood flow towards the clitoris. So if we're able to then remove the outer layer of muscles and look deeper at the deeper layer of muscles, you can see the ones that we're really interested in exercising. It looks like a ball of muscles, doesn't it? And that's really because it is. Again, it inserts at the back of the pubic bone, extends out into the pelvic wall, the sitting bones, and attaches back into the coccyx. One muscle we're really interested in is this one here that runs around the back of the vagina and back up. This is the pubococcygeus muscle. You may have heard that referred to as your love muscle, because this is the muscle that you contract during sex, and it contracts by itself during orgasm. It's also the muscle you need to contract to stop urine from leaving the body. Now, let's take a look at these muscles from the inside. You're actually looking down into your pelvic floor. And again, you can see what a lovely bowl of muscles this is. Your bladder, your uterus and vagina, and your bowel are held up by these muscles. The exit for your urethra, for your vagina, and for your bowel, your anal sphincter, run through these muscles. You might not know how to use these muscles, but they are a group of muscles that you can learn to control and strengthen. Let me tell you a little bit more about the pelvic floor, because women have different types of pelvic floor. Think about the pelvic floor, first of all, like a trampoline, and trampoline has a recoil. It moves up and down. I want you to think about the position of the pelvic floor in the body. Now, women who have a normal, functioning, strong pelvic floor, their pelvic floor will sit at, say, the first level of a house, sit at the first floor. When they cough, or when they sneeze, or when they lift, their pelvic floor might move up to the second floor and hold there while they do the action. Then when they sit or put the weight down, the floor will relax. But the pelvic floor is not like that in all women, or else we wouldn't be having the problems we do today. Some women's pelvic floor, for various reasons, might actually be stretched, be weak, and sit down in the basement of the house. Now, when these women lift up that 15-pound bag of potatoes out of the back of the car, their pelvic floor doesn't tighten and lift. It stays down there in the basement. Problem is, when you lift a weight, pressure from inside pushes more down on the pelvic floor. So these women may then lose urine. But wait, there's another one. A third type of pelvic floor is the one that permanently sits up at the third floor of the house. Yes, it's a floor that's far too tight and it never relaxes. This is the pelvic floor that causes pain with sex and also urine loss. Can you imagine what would happen to your biceps here if you kept it constantly tight and held like that all day? It would develop pain and it would also become very, very weak. This is what happens to a pelvic floor that's kept tightly lifted up all the time.